Hey YouTube, Dan Ottawa here, the best 3rd/4th tier Pokemon Go battler in the world, coming out to my first Ultra League Premier Classic team. And this one was built around Typhlosion. So here, what you're gonna see is my rating dropped a bit. I've played the two yesterday and today, and I haven't done well with any team except for this one. So not gonna bring you the other ones, but this one I did go 2 positive sets when I ran this. So it is a Typhlosion, Escavalier, and Poliwrath. And basically, how I came up with this team was I knew that fire is going to be good. I saw a bunch of Charizard, so people had the same thought process as me. Is that if you're going to have Sylveon, and if you're going to have Trevenant, and you're going to have Escav, and you're going to have, I think there was a couple others that are weak to fire, that might as well run a fire. So I ran with Typhlosion. Because I tried Charizard earlier, and I just honestly I like Typhlosion better, except in that matchup because then Charizard is better. But I just like Typhlosion. The Incinerates generate energy pretty quickly for, well, not quickly, but it's like 20 energy for one Incinerate. So it takes 5 Incinerates to get to 2 Blast Burns. So Blast Burn is Community Day move. So you are weak to obviously ground and water. So your main issue being is Swampert. You also need to watch out for Dragonite because it is resisted. It resists. Wow, it resists fire. So I paired it with first a Poliwrath because the Poliwrath has the. I looked at Poliwrath and I'm like, okay, it has the Ice Punch that can. I wanted to try and get at least 2 Pokemon that could also deal with Trevenant, right? So Poliwrath is something that could deal with your Swampert because it resists the Hydro Cannons, and it has the Ice Punch that it can deal with Dragonites and Trevenant. So having that sort of range with the Ice Punch plus the Scald, you can run with Dynamic Punch too. But the reason I'm not running it with Dynamic Punch is because I then paired it with an Escab, who is your main counter user for your Lapras and your Snorlax that you may see as a safe swap. Plus, I just like Escav. It can stay up with Swampert. 100 Cannon won't take you out from a non-shadow. I played a non-shadow Swampert today and did not take me out. So I think you can survive one from a shadow as well. And then counter Drill and Megahorn. Good coverage moves. Having a counter user because I've also seen Obstagoons and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go over just these battles and then let you know what I've been seeing. So in the first matchup here, Trevenant on lead. So you love to see it. They are staying in to a certain extent. So this is where this matchup gets tricky. If you go to PV Poke, it's actually a loss for Typhlosion in the one shield if they bait, which they did bait right there. So that's not great. So they grabbed a shield for me. They also, so it stayed in. They tried to catch there. Luckily, I was aware that they may try and catch. I was just going to go for the farm down there. So they came with the Poliwrath. And I think this one's running Dynamic Punch. Yeah. And as you can see, it does a good amount of damage there. So I don't really have an answer for Poliwrath per se. Like, this is my best matchup here. I can kind of work around it. They may get off another one before I get to the move here. So now I'll just probably come in with my own Poliwrath. Because it's probably low enough that I can just, yeah, just takes... I can't take it just in case it does have. Well, Mud Shots will do effective against the fire. And then if it does have Scald, like maybe it's running Dynamic Punch Scald, like who knows what it's running. So I'm just going to load up a bit, lose the CMP. So this is, things are, even though I had such a good lead, things are not lining up right now. I am going to get the Ice Punch off here, but I took that Dynamic Punch was a lot to take unnecessarily. Should have thrown it at 1 earlier, but I don't know how to count. I'm going to come in here and Incinerate. I've got a shield because even if it's just a Seed Bomb, it'll probably put me pretty low between that and the Claws. And it's an Excadrill in the back, which is huge. So, hello, goodbye. I've got 2 loaded back to back. Takes us out. And Incinerate. I don't know if Incinerate will actually take this out. The problem with the Incinerate move, and if you haven't used it before, is it's such a long charging move. So it's a 5-turn move. So as you saw, like right there, they got to move off and got to their charge move before I'm able to even take it out. I do get to an Ice Punch and I will take this matchup, but if you're going to run it with Incinerate, which I think you should because its main purpose is being a fire for all these grass and Charmers out there, I think it's worth running Incinerate for it, but just be careful because it is such a long move. Snorlax here is an okay matchup. So the only problem with Typhlosion, as you're going to see, is it's pretty glassy. Like those are just licks that did a lot of damage there. They also caught on a Dragonite, which is not great. But this is why Typhlosion is not bad, because you can chip a Dragonite like that to 50% in a Shadow. It's just under 50 the other way, but that's kind of how I work around a Dragonite. Like you can just chip it and then work your way around with other Pokemon. So I'm going to have to take, I've already burned a shield, so I have to take one of these Dragon Claws. Luckily, Dragon Claws doesn't do too much damage. I've already grabbed one shield. This would grab a second shield if they want to go down, which they may, to try and so they let it go. So that's perfect. I'll keep switch. And out comes the Snorlax. And this is where the Dynamic Punch probably would have helped. But that's okay because I can just get this chip damage off here. And then I can align with my Escav. So Escav's going to come in, do good counter damage. Superpower Body Slam. Body Slam is resisted, which I think I just let both of them go. So it is resisted, so I let that go. And I shield this one up thinking they're now probably going to throw the Superpower. And they do throw a Superpower. And out comes a Venusaur. So come in here. And do I get to the move? I do get to the move. So this will one-shot the Venusaur, take it out. And that's the thing. This is why I fire. Again, Venusaur was the other thing I named in the top 20 the other day. So between the Trevenant, Sylveon, Escav, Venusaur, I saw a 1 Tangrowth hitting decent in these neutral matchups. Like I think Typhlosion and other, if you want to run Charizard, same thing, have a lot of play in this league. And that's why I'm highlighting it today. I knew it'd be well. I knew it would do well. In this matchup, there are some losing matchups. So, and I threw a couple losses in here. So Obstagoon here is one of those tricky ones. And it all comes down to whether you can like sneak and incinerate through. Because I can get the Blast Burn, which can do a lot. So I'm thinking they'll shield. Or if they don't shield, I think I can get to a second one and grab the other shield. So they don't. So they know. So I'm going to sneak it through because I know I probably lose the CMP there. I don't know if I lose CMP, but I didn't want to like test it because I don't know who wins. So I just rather sneak that through because now I'm loaded with energy for what comes in here. Because if it's a grass, maybe they'll catch him off guard with the solar beam. But it is a muck. So throw this, which is great. I'm going to grab one shield. Can I get to the next one? I do not. And that's the problem with Incinerate, right? If that was a 4-turn move, I probably would have got there. But I did not get there. The good news is I have these drill runs, which will be doing super effective here. Thunder Punches hurt, but not too bad. The only problem with this, what you're going to see is if you don't run a Snorlax and Lapras, which I did not, I guess I'm so used to like the level 50s in Ultra, you'd be surprised how glassy a lot of these Pokemon are since they're only all level 40s. You're like, oh, that did way more damage than I expected because, again, they're like 10 levels lower than what you've normally seen in Ultra League. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be running the Ultra League. They let it go and it's a Venusaur. So this game is over. What I probably should have done here is I maybe should have chipped it. Again, I tried to come 1v1 here, but this is just not knowing your matchups because I'm thinking like, oh, Ice Punch is super spammy. I can get to it and maybe you'll do like a ton of damage. And then what you're going to see here, because it's like a non-stab, not great move, you need 3 Ice Punches to take it out in a normal condition. So, and they have a shield. So they need 3 plus 1 shield is 4. And I'm not going to outpace that Venusaur. So tough matchup there. Just knowing. So I have 2 answers for Venusaur, right? Like Escav and Typhlosion are great answers for Venusaur, but just bad alignment in the back there. Lapras. So what I like to do with the Lapras matchup is I like to get to the 1 Blast Burn and throw it because it's half ice. So this will be doing neutral. And the ice moves are not doing much for me. So I'm going to throw this and then bail. So I bail into the Poliwrath because I want to keep Typhlosion. I keep Escav for the counter later. And I resist Surf. So as you can see there, still in the green. I can get the second one off to put it in the red or yellowish, and it's in the red. But it does take 3 Ice Punches. And these Vine Whips are adding up. And this is probably going to take me out. For sure it will take me out. Not probably. This will take me out. So now I'm coming in here with the Typhlosion. But they've definitely got a Sludge Bomb ready. So I let it go, I think, this one, just to see how much it does. And it does like a decent amount. And now a Frenzy would probably take me out from here. So I am loaded with energy. If the Lapras comes back in, I can throw this to burn a shield here or take it out. I'm guessing burn a shield since I don't think they threw. So they're probably loaded with energy. So I tried to catch her as you saw. Couldn't do it. So I have to bank this. And I will come in with the SCAV here. Have a good matchup. I have to take the Surf, I think, because I don't know what's in the back. So I take the Surf. Does, again, a decent amount. But they are not leaving. And this is not a good matchup. So what's in the back must be weak. And it's another Muck. And this is where having the drill runs is amazing because it'll be doing super effective against the poison. I learned that because of all the Halloween Cup. They survive one. They're not going to survive another one, so they need to shield here. And I don't think one Thunder Punch takes me out either. It is a Shadow, so maybe it will. It'll put me pretty close. And then I'm going to need to, it looks like 2 Incinerates. So 1 Incinerate, and I do sneak the second one in there to take it out, just as I'm being taken out. So take that matchup. And here is your hard, not a hard loss, but this has caused me a lot of problems, which if you want to adjust your team based on this matchup, I would not fault you for it. I have no answer from a champ. I think you definitely get outpaced here for sure. So I grabbed a shield and I'm like, okay, let's come in with the Poliwrath because maybe you can get 2 good moves. And then I got hit with a Venusaur. So I think Poliwrath probably had an okay matchup against Machamp, quite honestly. Probably could have thrown a Scald there and taken it out. And I'm pretty spammy. The good news is Poliwrath is very spammy, especially the Scald. But now being taken out here, I now have a not good matchup with my SCAV and a super low Typhlosion, which is going to be outpaced too. So Machamp was just ran through this entire team. So taken out here. Again, they're going to have a move, so I'm going to try and catch it, but I'm like, no, I'm switch locked. This is going to take me out, so maybe SCAV getting ahead on energy. Don't want to burn this energy because I have a move. So if the Machamp comes back in, I have a move to throw at it. They sneak a counter through. That's brutal because I think that maybe also cost me the game there. Because now I'm like, okay, let's go SCAV. Hopefully I can get to the drill run before they get to 2 cross chops. And I can't. That 1 extra counter probably did cost me that because I get to drill run. I'm 1 short of drill run. I probably would have won CMP. So yeah, takes that out. I'm not going to get to another move here that takes this. Like, just Machamp is just too spammy for this team. So you could replace SCAV. The reason I have SCAV is for like Lap or something. So if you want, you could run like Dynamic Punch on Poliwrath and then do something that can take out perhaps I don't know, something to take out a Machamp there while also having your other coverages. So you'd have to like think that the team through. So throw it into PV Poke, throw in like Incinerate plus Dynamic Punch Poliwrath, and then see what they say as a third. So Dragonite lead, switch out. They come in here. I think I let this go. I do, and it doesn't take me out because Poliwrath is like, I think probably the tankiest on this team. And I will get the second Scald, so if they do not shield, I'm going to take them out. And if they do shield, I just grab 2 shields from them. And their attack is lowered twice. So this is huge because I lower their attack twice because that's what Scald can do. So now we can come in here. Drill Run is still super effective, but knowing that I lower their attack twice, I don't need to respect it. Because there you go. It still does 50% because it's super effective. But that would have done way, way, way worse if they weren't. And out comes the Dragonite. And again, I just need to chip this as much as I can to then go into SCAV to try and finish this off. So that puts it super low, and out comes the Swampert. So I'm glad I have a shield here because I am going to need it. I'm going to need 2 drill runs to take this out, and I need to shield up 1 of the Hydro Cannons. And maybe they just got hit with leg there because now we get to what looks like a CMP where I'm going to shield this. Oh, and they threw an Earthquake. Oh yeah, I remember this is a matchup. I think they quit after this. What I think happened is maybe they lost count of shields because you never throw Earthquake there. You just go for the double Hydro. But maybe they lost count there. Maybe they forgot my shield count, so maybe that's why. So this matchup we've seen before. If you're a losing matchup, if they don't shield here, and they don't shield, so I'm like, okay, I know I'm a losing matchup. Let's just come in here and try and snipe. So I got one off here. I'm going to take the cross chop or night slash, which is fine. I can take either. And out comes a Gengar. I was like, okay, Gengar is an interesting because I don't really have an amazing answer to Gengar either. Like the good news is the mud shots from Poliwrath are being super effective and it charges pretty fast. So I can maybe get that off. We see P-Tie here, which is not great, but I'm not going to let this go down because I'm going to force a shield. They go for Shadow Ball, which is a huge move. So if they're throwing Shadow Ball instead of Shadow Punch, my guess is that they're running Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb because there's no way you don't throw a Shadow Punch in that. So it's probably like a non-Community Day Pokemon here. So I'm going to come in here. I think my win condition is Poliwrath, quite honestly. So I'm probably going to let this go, and it is another Shadow Ball. So I'm expecting, okay, if that's the case, they're definitely running it. So I'm going to shield this up, expecting a third Shadow Ball here. And it is a Shadow Ball, so very, very spammy Pokemon. So I know I need to get ahead of energy, and I expected that to come in. I knew it was coming in. I knew they could try and snipe for damage here, which they do. So that's not great. So I get this Ice Punch off. I could have used that extra HP. I still loaded with energy. The Gengar's low enough that I can take it out if it comes back in. And out comes a Nidoqueen. So I had a Nidoqueen matchup earlier, and one Scald doesn't take it out. So I'm like, okay, 2 Ice Punches is the way then. And I'm like, well, that doesn't take it out, so I need an Ice Punch and Scald. But luckily, I'm spammy enough that I get to it. I didn't want to take any damage here, so I threw it right away. And now it's just a race to see who can get to the move first. And between the Mud Shots, which are doing super effective, and the Ice Punches, I will be able to take it out. So I think Poliwrath has a lot of play in this as well, because it's a Pokemon that has great versatility and is super spammy. So that is the team. My only team that did well in the past 2 days that I've been running this. Like I said, Typhlosion is a beast because there's just so much that it does well against, and even in neutral matchups. I think the spamminess of Poliwrath works in this league. Nice coverage with Ice Punch on dragons and on grass. And then you can run it, like I said, Scald or Dynamic Punch. And then you have your Escab here, which I like as a counter user for Lapras or Snorlax. But if you want to deal with Machamp, you can replace it. Again, Machamp's hardest counters are like Sylveon. Would Sylveon work on this team? I think it could. It leaves you open to another, like a double Venusaur weakness in the back, right? Because Sylveon would get wrecked by Venusaur, and so would your Poliwrath. So I don't know if I go that. Maybe if you want to try, well, I was saying you can go Dragonite, but no, you can't go Dragonite because Poliwrath is weak to Fairy. So you can't go double weak to Fairy in the back. So that's why I picked Escab, because for me, it was just the best all-around Pokemon. And I guess in Machamp, you can still try and work around, but that's it. That's team 1. I'll try another team tomorrow. Hopefully it works. Send me your submissions in case it doesn't work. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.